Well, hello and good Sunday afternoon, everybody in Fantland out there. I want to very quickly introduce, this is Lawrence Erickson of Gakota's fame, for those of you who've been around. Hello, Lawrence.
Hello, Bill. Good to see you again. And hello to your live audience and
Now,
fellow Fant lovers.
if you go on your dashboard, you see all those icons on the right-hand side. If you click the one that says comments, you'll be able to see.
Okay. Who's there?
There we got Mikey, Ben, and Joanne from Canada.
Oh, good.
And James Cross from the very exotic California.
Oh.
He lives right between us.
Oh,
so
okay.
If you put a pin right between where you live and where I live, that's where James lives.
All right.
And hello, Annette, Mossy Incarnation.
Oh, Mossy. I think I know what her faves are.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, now, I am sure everybody here is going to be asking the obvious question. They're saying, Bill, you with your big hair, you're all nice and good looking, but we came here to see Yvette. And yes. Yeah. Yvette had to go in to an urgent care appointment. She is okay. So we don't have to worry about her, but she had to go in. And so she is now trying to find a place that she can go to jump onto the show. And so we are looking for her to, there is Yvette.
Oh, good.
Demand for Yvette is here.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, okay. Sorry, everybody. I just got a message. She's in an exam right now, but she's going to get out as soon as she can and join us. This was an unexpected and unwelcome little bit of excitement in our day.
Mm-hmm.
And there's Janet. Janet's from Alabama. So we're starting to get some good coverage here.
Good.
So Yvette's trying to get on. But so everyone, I know you hear me talking about Phantasticus all the time. And the exciting thing about Phantasticus is we can look at that community and see they're about where we were like 25 years ago for the chameleon group. I know there's a lot of people here who are from the chameleon community. I know not all of you are commenting, but it's very interesting to be able to see a community that is coming up where the chameleon community has been. So, Lawrence, giving a background as to what you did with the Phant. And I know you talked about it in our interview, but we're just going to use that to kick off conversation here.
Okay. Well, sure. Well, it was early 2000s when I really got into the Phants. I'd been working with lots of other herps over the years, captive breeding, and then started working my way more towards the gecko specialization. And eventually just found myself with the Phants. Like I'd said on the previous podcast, I started with a trio, and by the next day it was a pair. And because that's the way things were with the wild-caught animals back then. And I'm just glad to see everything has changed so much. And there's so much more good information, and the community is, everything I can tell has gotten much better, much more solid, especially with opportunities like you've been presenting with the various podcasts and over quite a few years. And now these live interview podcast is pretty great, pretty grand.
Yeah, these are a lot of fun. And by the way, we've just been joined by Geraldine, who is in Madagascar in January, and she got to see Phantasticus in the wild.
All right. Was she there with you?
Yep.
Oh, right on.
So, okay, message from Yvette. Let's see. Okay, she's working on it. Now, you have insight because you were part of the chameleon world. You've been part of the chameleon world, and Phantasticus was just where you really became a public figure in it. So you understand the challenge that we all have when there is too much of a good thing. Trying to decide what chameleon to work with, trying to decide which Uroplatus to work with.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually a really good point. Because back then there were a lot of Uroplatus to choose from. There were fewer species known or described at that time than there are now, but the availability, the Peachmani and Guntheri and Sakura and Fimbriatus, and Lineatus, all quite readily available. And there were things, it was kind of sad in some ways, because there was the beautiful Lineatus were just considered like trash animals. And it's a shame because they're so magnificent. And I think it was because most of them died so rapidly after being imported, and then they needed such large cages. But we'll talk about when you see a healthy Lineatus, what an amazing animal. But most of the ones that we saw were in deli cups at shows, and they looked all scrawny and nasty and faded, and people didn't want them. The fence typically looked good in the cups, and did okay, and required a lot, smaller housing. And then there was the Peachmani, which were just truly amazing to look at. And I know there's still a few people working with them, but I don't think they're being imported anymore. But what a grand animal.
Yeah, I hear some every now and then, so I think they trickle in.
Okay.
But I got to tell you, so I started with Phantasticus way long ago. Absolutely incredible animal. But I had that problem of I definitely want Sakura, Samyatai, Fimbriatus. And so back then, younger Bill, who did not have the wisdom of older Bill, it's kind of like too many things going through my hands. So even though I was working with fans, I was breeding fans and such, I wasn't concentrating on them. And it wasn't until Yvette came along and said, nope, this is my species. This is the one I'm doing.
So she trained you?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Okay, well, good on her.
Let's see. Janet, you said, do we have a photo of that species? You're probably I think you're talking about Peachmani. I'm going to go find a photo of that and bring that guy up. And so
that's definitely worthy of seeing if you haven't had an opportunity to see those.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. I found a good one here. I'm going to bring it up on the screen here. Well, that's not working. All right, everybody, just hang tight.
Anyway, if for those who aren't familiar with them, the common cork bark is perfect. Is when you put them on the surface of like a cork oak bark, they just blend in and they're impossible to see.
All right, I found
kind of like
here.
The fants when they're mixed in with the stringy pieces of vegetation. Okay, there you go.
So that is the Peachmani. So let's see. Mikey says we have a Madagascar importer that brings Sakura, Fimbriatus, Lineatus, not many fants. Could that be a wild-caught survival issue? What do you think?
Wait, I'm sorry. What was the?
We have a
the question was-
Madagascar. Can you see the question at the bottom of the screen?
Okay, I can see it now. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We have Madagascar importer that brings Socorro fimbriatus lineatus, but and not many fans. Could that be wild caught survival issue?
What do you
That
think?
or CITES issue, CITES, or even a difficulty with finding them.
Yeah, Mikey, it would depend on the import. Well, actually, the exporter that your importer is working with. Number one, they need to have CITES quota. So they may not have quota. They are difficult to find, but you know what? These days, the imports are coming in a whole lot better than they were 15 years ago. I know when Yvette and I started doing it seriously, even then the wild caughts, what was that, 10 years ago, a little under 10 years, something like that. The wild caughts, I mean, I remember losing $6,000 worth of wild caughts because we've been focusing on bloodline diversity. So we specifically work on bringing in wild caughts so we can offer different bloodlines.
Mm-hmm.
But my goodness, that's a painful way to go. Because if the importer doesn't do it right, it's not good. So everybody be glad you can deal with captive hatched.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who are in the importing early on. They entered with the impression that they could make a lot of money because the animals came in really cheap, but they lost so many of them that most of the people that were importing got out of the business because it was such a brutal thing to be in.
Yeah.
I see there was one question that someone's looking out James is looking out my back window.
Yeah.
It's raining out there, very lightly raining. We've had just over 3 inches in the last 2 days, so not too much, but it's the last rain of the season.
All right. So Mikey Ben says, be asking him next week at the expo. Okay. Yeah. Let us know, Mikey Ben. Be great to hear what he says about that. And Geraldine, they have 2 fimbriatus where I work.
Oh.
Fimbriatus are nice. You know what? I'm going to bring up a fimbriatus.
And Bill, did you ever get a chance to see fimbriatus in the wild?
I did not. I believe that's up in Mario Jeji. Is it?
It's further north, I think. It's further north than I've been anyway.
Yeah, the furthest north I went was Andasi Bay.
Okay.
And okay, that's a fun one. And so I did not.
My experience with fimbriatus was really limited. It was with a couple of wild-caught imports, and they were really anxious animals, and they ended up, it was getting their noses scratched, and then it doesn't take very long after that for infection to come in.
Yeah, the fimbriatus are the big ones. Not the biggest, but pretty much very big ones.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're another one that distracted me. So it's I had to tell you, it's been so hard. For some reason, it's easy for Yvette. She's had so many opportunities. People have offered trades. I mean, I can get a hold of all sorts of different Uroplatus. She is not. She's Fance. That's it.
That's probably why she does so well.
That is exactly why she does so well.
Mm-hmm.
Lawrence, is Madagascar your favorite place for herping in your travels?
It is. It is. A close second would be Borneo. Yeah.
All right. So
but Madagascar is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
tell
been there
us what you
twice.
love, because James Cross was there in 2025. He's going back in 2027 with me.
Ah, good.
So, what is it that you love about Madagascar?
Oh, the well, in addition to the animals, the people are pretty amazing. It's really a mind expanding, mind opening experience getting there, and seeing the extreme poverty but the joy on the joy on the face of the people that are living there is just truly amazing. Um, one really cool experience that has nothing to do with the animals, but when we went there last January, or not January, it was November, December. My girlfriend and I brought little instant. It's not a Polaroid, but it's a little miniature film printer that you put the film in, and then you take the pictures with your digital camera, and then you can print one up. And so we took pictures of people with their permission, of course, and we would give them the photos. And most of them had never actually had a photo of themselves in their hand, but they'd sit there and they'd watch it, especially the kids. They would watch their face develop on the image, and they would just light up and start glowing. And then hordes of people would start coming around and crawling all over you, wanting to have their picture taken and to watch the pictures develop and that sort of thing. It's truly amazing experience.
And by the way, welcome Highlight Exotics for joining us. Would love to go to Madagascar. That is a well-placed love.
Indeed.
There's James saying, my sentiments exactly. I thought I was going there for an animal trip, and I came back a different person. The people were amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not sure. James may have gotten married while he was there. And so we're not sure exactly what happened, what went down there, but we had some fun. So
yeah. But anyway, aside from that, certainly the experience of walking in the jungle at night and finding animals, and then seeing a wild Uroplatus for the first time in your life is just jaw-dropping, and truly a life-changing experience. And then on the other thing is they call it chameleons, particularly the ones that you grew up seeing in shows or in captivity, and then to see them in the wild is just insane.
Now, where in Madagascar did you go?
Mostly along the central highlands, and then along the eastern coast. Okay. So started off in Antananarivo and ended there, and then along down to I'm trying to I'm having a brain.
Did you get as far as Ranamafana?
Yeah, Ranamafana was as far south as I went.
Yeah,
but yeah, both trips we went to Ranamafana and spent a couple of days there.
You went to Ranamafana and then the East Coast?
No. Oh, yeah. So
you did some traveling.
Yeah, a lot of driving. Each trip was 3 weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
So a lot of driving between sites, but that's the only way to get around. I mean, well, I guess you could fly, but not everywhere's got an airstrip to land on. So if you're going a really long distance, then that would be the way to go. But if you're making short hops to a new site every day, then you got to drive.
Is Ranamafana where you saw the Phantasticus?
I saw Yes, I saw the first time I saw two there, and then the second time I saw one Phantasticus there, and then the other one was further north at
let's see
Andasabi, I think it was
Andasi Bay, and there's a Marumizaha mountain that is popular with the tours.
Okay. Yeah, I'd have to look at the pictures. I wasn't prepared to do
Oh yes,
describe where I was finding them, but yeah, it was
saying the
further north than
Madagascar
I was.
names. It's never easy.
That's another thing trying to remember. Certainly. Yeah.
It took me 2 years to remember these names. So yeah.
Yeah.
But
anyway, for anybody who's even considering it, I would say jump on it and don't wait. It's such a life-changing experience, and who knows how much longer you'll be able to go there. And with the deforestation, it continues. Yeah, there's some protected parks, and there's quite a few protected parks, but who knows what's going to happen. And like this last trip, there was a revolution right before we left, and they ran the president out of the country, and the U.S. had a travel advisory to reconsider going to that country, and there had been lots of rioting in the cities a couple of weeks before we left. So it was teeter-tottering on whether or not it was even going to be possible. And it's not that unusual of occurrence to happen in that part of the world.
Yeah, it was the same guy who did the last coup. And he said, all right, I don't like this guy. We're going to do this again, and we're going to fix it this time. So
yeah. Well, it sounded like he needed to go, and hopefully it works out for him.
Well, I went a bit after you, and I can tell you the people are happy, generally speaking. The roads are getting better. The electricity is staying on, and which, James, when you're there, you will notice a complete difference from when you were there in 2025, and the fact that electricity won't be going on and off all the time.
Yeah. Oh, something to consider for people that are thinking about going there is I would highly recommend going with an organized trip, or somebody who does organized trips, rather than try and design the trip on your own without ever having been there. I know someone who did that, and she had a lot of difficulty with transportation and having to use public transportation to get from place to place is just extremely time consuming, probably a little dangerous. And if you're going to go that far, you don't want to be wasting your time sitting on the side of the road waiting for a cab, or not a cab, but a bus. Spend the extra money for a tour of some sort, and you'll have a guide that can drive you, and don't even think about trying to drive there yourself.
No.
It's absolutely insane, even though the drive on the side, I mean, it's just the potholes and the speed, and there's really no regulations for the driving. So I would never even consider that.
All right, Mikey Ben is asking, Lawrence, have you had any thoughts of creating a picture coffee table book with all the animals you've seen?
Oh, that's a really good question. No, I haven't. That would be kind of fun.
It would be kind of fun. You've been a number of places.
Yeah, and more to come. Yeah, that would be good. And you wouldn't want to limit it to the reptiles either, because certainly another thing that you see in Madagascar are the lemurs, and they're unreal. And if you go during baby lemur season, it's about as cute as they get.
Yeah.
Coffee table book would be cool. One thing I do with the pictures is I put them in databases, and most of the reptile photos that I take end up on a lot of them end up on iNat, but also Herp Mapper. And Herp Mapper does a lot of protection of the sites, much more so than iNat. But it's a way of collecting, but without taking an animal. So you're taking a photograph of an animal, you're collecting the location, and then you're memorializing it in a database for scientific research and for the records that you produce are going to be around a lot longer than the person that produced them. So that's a really nice way to combine science with your passion for reptiles and recreation and herping.
All right, we have James saying my first Phantasticus was purple. What? Bill had a great picture of it. I'm going to pull up this great picture. This guy. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
That is
the
most
amazing.
Purple blue, whatever that is, that I have ever seen.
Stunning.
Yeah.
Stunning. Of course, I've never seen a phant that wasn't stunning.
That is correct.
A group of animals that just is mind-blowing in every single one of them. Even the plain brown ones are magical in their own way. So
yeah,
you have an audience here of people that respect these animals, and that's really cool. And they understand how special they are.
Let's see. Patrick was a great guy. We went with a guy named Patrick.
Okay.
And he's been really good. Good.
Oh, is that Patrick Madagascar? Goes by Patrick Madagascar?
No. There's a lot of Patricks in Madagascar, and you got to be careful. Okay. Ami Miyajahaja. Andre Miyajahaja. Yeah. I've known him for many years, and I'm still working on his name. So, and then Geraldine says, the lemurs were awesome. They are so curious. Yeah. James, you know what? The name James is going to come up a lot because adventure kind of finds him. I don't know what it is. I have been to Madagascar how many times? 1, 2, 3. 3 times. And he fit in about 5 Madagascar trips in one trip as far as misadventures, adventures, and unexpected things. So yeah, he's the one who got mugged by lemurs. They stole his coffee. Nobody else had their coffee. They stole his coffee. We're not sure if he's married or not. He got fleeced by a police officer in an elevator. And there's other. Oh yeah, he got waylaid in Paris and couldn't find his way back out, and so we had to put him on a. So when he finally did get to Madagascar without his luggage, we had to put him on a private car by Madagascar Mario Andretti that drove him 2 days down to Ranamafana. So. Wow. Yeah, he's got a lot of fun.
So adventure follows him. Good. He'd be a good guy to travel with.
Yes. And let's see. Two Turtle Tom, welcome. And oh yeah, that's right. He fell off a mountain.
Okay.
Yeah, in that area in Andasi Bay. I was actually behind him at that point, and all of a sudden he disappeared, and the guides flew by me, and all of a sudden he was back up on the trail. They went down after him, and they propped him back up, set him back on the trail, and we just continued on. Good. So yeah, we've had a lot of adventures there.
Well, the guides do tend to look after you really well, and that's extraordinarily helpful. And
share with us.
Just having their eyes to find things is also essential.
Yes. And that's actually goes into my next question. Share your experience first seeing a Phantasticus in the wild.
Well, that one's anticlimactic because we were on a trail in Ranamafana, and the guide pointed it out, and it was middle of the day, and it was a dark phant on the middle of a green leaf on the side of the trail. And to me, it was like, that's not right. That's somebody put it. So I think what happened is a guide or somebody before us had found it and then put it back, but didn't put it back where they found it. So that was anticlimactic. That, although that night we saw one along the side of a road in the about 6 feet off the ground, just doing its pose, which was just fantastic. It was on all fours with its posturing with his shoulder out, and his head was all cocked up, and he was just like looking around in this feeding mode, and he was just the dominant animal on this leaf, but just looking around and just not afraid of us, but just doing his thing. And it was a good big size male, but I think probably the one that was the most amazing was from this last trip. That was there was a bunch of leaves and mossy moss, and it's almost like a vine. And the guide had looked behind this clump of leaves, and there was this Uroplatus phantasticus, this amazing male one, upside down, just dangling by one leg, one rear leg in front of his tail, and his tail was curled over his part of his body, just in this perfect pose. And it took everybody a long time to spot it, but it was one of these events where when somebody saw it for the first time, they were just, their jaw dropped. And even looking at pictures today, we show people, is that really an animal that you're looking at? I don't know if there's a way for me to bring one up on my screen for you to see, but
there should be. Go ahead and let's see, if you go down to the bottom and you see there should be a like a TV screen with a plus sign in it.
Yes.
Click that, and it will should allow you to share an image file, or if you bring it up on the screen, share the screen.
Oh. Well, I'll have to go through the pics. I can try and get some real quick.
Okay, yeah, you do that. I'll bring up some from our trip.
Yeah, and actually it would be really good because for people that have never seen one in a wild position, they'll get a little bit better image of how truly amazing these things are. So let's see. Madagascar 25.
All right, I'll bring up a video for everybody.
Okay.
Hey folks, let's play a game called Find the Phant. Okay, somewhere in this pan, there's a phantasticus.
Oh.
All right, everybody.
We'll
Where's the phant?
how hard it is to find them in the wild.
And we'll get a little bit of a closer look.
See it now?
There we go.
There we go. It's a gorgeous creature.
Now, this one made it easy on us because it was hiding in green leaves. When they do this in dead leaves, good luck. So, all right. Yeah, let's see. If you had to retire from traveling, would you want to keep phants again or other Uroplatus?
Oh, if I was to keep anything, yeah, it would be Uroplatus. but I wouldn't be keeping it to breed. I would be keeping it as a sole animal. Let me get back to the screen so I can see what we're. I was digging for a picture. Would I keep them? Yeah, I would keep. If I did, it would be keeping one fant, or if it wasn't a fant, it would be something similar, maybe a Socorra. But in or even a lineatus would be great, but it would have to be in a really large enclosure, so you could see its natural behaviors. I think probably something like a lineatus would be great, because I never kept them, and having them in an enclosure with a bunch of bamboo would be really cool. I've got an affinity for bamboo, so I could see a naturalistic vivarium, like a 4 foot tall, 2 foot by 2 foot, maybe even larger, but space is always a premium. But something like that with one lineatus, and probably a male, because they're just so amazing. Yeah. But at this point, no, I'm not planning on keeping any. There's still more traveling to do, but it would definitely be high on the list. And yeah, I would use a dragon strand cage, and I still have several of those in storage. Should such a time occur again.
All right, everybody, you ready to find another? Are you ready, Lawrence?
No,
okay, you just keep looking.
I lost it. Something I pressed the wrong button. We're
going to do another game of Find the Fant.
Okay.
Yes, somewhere in this video, there is a phantasticus. And you find it. Go back again. It's a little bit easier when you know that there is one, but
oh, all right. So that one didn't have the reveal. I am going to give you the reveal right now. So that's the guy. And if you can, I wish I didn't have that video, but you see the V of the tree. I'm going to bring up that video again, and you're going to be able to, if you look at this shape, there's a ficus looking tree. It's not a ficus. Sorry, James, but it's a ficus looking tree in the middle. And watch where you get that V of the trunk, and then you'll be able to see in this video again the phantasticus.
For our next game of Find the Fant, yes, somewhere.
So right there, almost in mid-screen, right there in mid-screen.
And you find it.
Of course, now I'm being coy and filming all over the place.
It's a little bit easier when you know that there is.
Oh, there you go. All right, so but I gotta tell you, everybody, I have yet to find a Fant by myself. It has always been the guides. I am hoping. I planning to go to Madagascar one more time in January, and my goal is to be able to see one myself. But I tell you, I can't tell you how many hours I have spent looking at each and every freaking dead leaf in Andasi Bay, and I still haven't found one. Oh,
I'm still looking.
Okay. That's okay. I'll introduce everybody to my girl in this. Let's see if I can get this showing. This enclosure back here. I'll introduce you to my girl. I don't have a name for her yet. She's my princess, my little night fury. And let's see, I'm going to have to bring you pictures because she's kind of hiding right now. No, come on, AI. Stop with your camera. There we go. So there's that, the enclosure right here. This is a 2x2 by 4 foot tall enclosure. This is a dragon strand tall hybrid done in black specifically for Uroplatus. And yeah, you can put chameleons in there too. But I'm going to put up a picture of my girl. Let's see if I can. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So you can see there is the cage there. And if we go in a little bit, if we zoom into the lower left on that Fabian Auralia, if you see a little bit of a tail on a leaf, because she's really stuffed herself back in there. There she is. And this is what she looks like. That's my girl. There we go. And no, she didn't want to look at me at all. I was having a hard time getting her face. But she's got an incredible tail there. So that's my girl. Let's see. Mikey Ben's got a question here. James says there was a fight. No, James, there wasn't a ficus. It just looked like a ficus. Gosh, we have a thing about ficus going on. I made the mistake at one point saying that ficus weren't my favorite. And boy, my community just went to town on that.
I just got a picture of a wild fant as found, and I put it at the desktop. So if I put it on the plus on the present.
Yeah. You should be able to go in and do it from a file or share a screen.
Okay, slide image file. This one, upload. Okay, it looks like it uploaded, but I don't see it on.
Yeah. I'll bring it up. Two Turtle Tom. Yes, Yvette was supposed to be here. She had to go to the urgent care for an appointment, an unexpected appointment, and we are hoping that she's able to join before the end of the show. But she's got to work out those schedules. So yes, this was a unexpected thing. Everybody's here to see Yvette, and I show up. Sorry. All right, there we go.
Okay, so this is as found, and for somebody who's familiar with the Uroplatus, it's pretty easy to find the animal. But if you are looking at something that you had never seen before, you wouldn't be able to find it in and amongst the mossy branches and twigs and fern fronds and that sort of thing. So that does give you, kind of a good example of how difficult they are to find in the wild. And you can, on the photo, you can see one of his one of his rear feet is sticking straight up, just like they do in the cages. And this has got the big white teardrop behind the eye, the male part. But anyway, that's an example of how they're found in the wild. So an in situ photograph. A lot of mine are blurry because I'm just I'm not focusing so much on photography. I'm more of a voucher photo person than someone looking for the perfect image.
What is a voucher photo person?
Oh, a voucher photo is a person who takes an image that you can tell what it is, and it's like a photo voucher, meaning instead of like a vouchered animal would oftentimes be one that you're collecting and putting in a jar in a museum for future reference. So this is a photographic reference that you can identify as that particular animal, and then it goes into a database or for later scientific research if somebody wants it.
All right.
So anyway, that's what I would do. Okay, so here's a question. What would you like to see in the future from the fan community? That's a really good question, and I never really thought about it so much. But I would probably say look at longevity, trying to keep them alive for a longer period of time. And by doing so, I think what you're doing is you're reaching the point of thriving. Oh, there's Yvette. Hi, Yvette.
Yay!
Yay. I made it.
All right, good.
Just, I know, never always late, but worth the wait. Just kidding. Go ahead.
Everybody's been
Definitely.
accusing me of bait and switch, Yvette. They said, oh,
I
we
know.
thought Yvette was going to be here. We just show up and you're here? What the heck?
Emergencies happen, but I'm so glad to be here for just a little remainder of the time. Come on, I want to hear.
Okay, all right. I'm
Oh.
sorry. Lawrence, please go on.
Okay, so someone is just asking about what I'd like to see for the future of the fan community. And I had just said probably a focus on the animal's longevity, which is a reflection of their your care and their ability, the animal's ability to thrive. And you know, we used to talk about how many you could produce, and if you reproduced, you were successful. But I think that having them live for a long period of time and remain healthy for a long period of time is a really good goal. And in addition to that, I really hope people don't do the line breeding for like colors and patterns. I would really like to see the maintenance of the diversity, so you keep the animals we'll breed them with distant animals, maybe not terribly distant, but certainly avoid the inbreeding and avoid the problems with inbreeding that you see in the year after year after year of, like, say, with the ball pythons or the crested geckos. Just line breeding for different colors, and it would be the same way with a lot of the things like corn snakes. Same way, a lot of animals are that way. But so I'd like to see the fan community avoid that as a goal.
Yeah,
and then also learn and be able to share what you're finding on forums like this. Through interviews, and then ideally publishing something. And then publishing is not easy. It's definitely not easy. But if you can get something out there, that would be great. Yeah.
Two Turtle Tom's asking, would searching at night with a flashlight cause them to stand out?
Great question, but I don't think so. They're you would think that it might be easier to find them at night, and it probably is, but I can't say for sure, because the three of the four that I've seen were in the daytime, and one was at night. And the one that was out at night was pretty easy to see, but it didn't illuminate like you would when you see a chameleon at night. So with the chameleon, if you're looking, for those who haven't looked for the chameleons at night, the best way is to use a flashlight and walk along a trail or walk along the side of a road, a clearing area, and shine the light at the end of a branch. And then they reflect white, a lot of them, and so they're not hidden during the daytime. Like when a chameleon's up moving around during the daytime, it's blended in really well. But at nighttime, they're sleeping on the branch ends. With the idea is that, like, if a predator's coming along, it's going to start shaking the branch, and the chameleon's going to awaken and either drop off or be able to evade the predator. And we don't see that with the fants. Being nocturnal, they're out moving around. So yeah, you probably would do better at night, now that we're talking about it and I'm thinking out loud. But I don't think it's going to be easy anyway.
Yeah, I think it gets easier only because they're not sleeping, they're not plastered, they're out kind of looking around and hunting. And so their shape is more like an animal that is an animal instead of this this dead leaf.
And you don't get eye shine. Like if you're looking for salamanders at night or frogs at night, oftentimes what you'll do is you put a flashlight right up by your eye, and then you just kind of scan around like that, and you look for the reflection from the eye shine back at you. But you don't get any of that with the fence. I tried it, but it didn't get it. But
Here's
if
an
it
example.
was the case, that would be really cool.
This is a Socorre, and this is the Socorre at night. You know, usually during the day you see them plastered against the tree if you see them at all. But then at night they're out running around like this, and so they're not camouflaged. And pants aren't as dramatic of a difference as this one, but they don't glow like chameleons.
No.
And Joanne says the princess
definitely
in the tower.
Yes.
Talk about the princess.
That's so cute. The princess in the tower.
And there is a two-turtle Tom busting my chops because Yvette's not here. And
yeah. It's okay.
Yvette, are you able to see all the comments?
I can see them, but I can't exactly join the chat, and that's okay. Yes, I can.
Well, they're all saying hi to you.
I see. Hello, everybody.
And Two Turtle Tom is airing his grievances. I really felt bait and switched when Bill started to introduce his girl, his princess, and then showed us a photo of a lizard.
Expect that. That is so Bill. Bait and switch, I tell you.
That's a good one.
Well, they are. Just let everybody. We don't have to go into details. Are you okay?
I will be okay.
Good.
Well,
Thank
you. Thank you so much.
So, I got to show
you from all the highs and comments and stuff. You're very well loved by this community. So, more power to you.
Well, I'm in good hands with Bill, able to fully take over while I'm
just in case. Yeah,
I'm trying to get this straight. I'm actually holding my phone, so you have to forgive me. All these positions, I'm trying to figure it out. But anyway.
All right. Okay. Well, that you got it. You got to see this this image progression. So that is, can you see where my little princess is? My little Night Fury is?
No, because my phone is too small.
Because it's a phantasticus.
I know. Always hit. Oh, wait, is she at the top?
Oh, yeah.
At the leaf?
Not the top, right around the middle.
Middle.
That top, that's a distraction.
My phone is so small. There. Oh my goodness.
There she is.
Silly girl.
So the black background that you're using versus white, was that what's the thought process behind that?
The reason why I have a white background is back when I started Dragonstrand, the lights, we didn't have LED lights. And so we just had the T5 lights. And so we were desperate for light inside of cages. And so that's why I had the white cages, because they would reflect the light. Now that we have the T5 or not the LED lightings, we're able to have a lot more light into the cage area. And so now black is more possible, but I still but I decided to I've been sticking with the white because bringing in another color is that's a lot of effort. But now I'm making cages for my Phantasticus. That's the benefit of having your own caging company. And so now I have a Phant line of cages that are black.
Okay.
So yes, that's what this is. This is the first one. I said, all right, want it black, and so now you can get them in black.
Well, that's a good idea, because it where you do see them, it tends to be darker.
Mhm.
Yeah, they'll bask, but at least in cages they would bask. But I think if you're looking at trying to have something more mimic the actual environment, I think darker is probably better. So
Mhm.
that's a good idea.
For Uroplatus, the darker fits
Uh-huh.
more with it, and obviously in here the light is just for the plants and
Yeah.
for her circadian rhythm. But on that, Spencer Day's hiding,
Yeah.
so doesn't need as much light as a chameleon would.
Mm-hmm.
And
along with that, are you doing much in the way of supplementation on the fence?
We're going through some possible changing back.
Okay.
So to
Yeah.
what we used to do. So
Well, it's hard. It's hard to tell, and I guess what I would, if I was to talk to somebody who was interested in that sort of thing, I would encourage people to make one change at a time. Because it's
right.
really difficult to tell what you're doing works, and if you're doing 2 changes or 3 changes at the same time, you really can't tell if there's a benefit, which was the actual benefit. So it's a very slow process, and if you're considering changing something with the vitamins, it's going to certainly going to take a long time to figure that out.
Well, Lawrence, that is a very deep question, because we're at an inflection point in the community, because number one, our lighting is changing. We are shifting from T5s to LEDs.
Okay.
And the T8s that Yvette and I love for our Phantasticus, because they aren't as strong, are being phased out. And so they're being phased out in favor of the T5s, and the T5s are just hanging on because they're an exception, because they're a specialty bulb. So the writing's on the wall that we need to learn LED husbandry. And so right now, with what I'm doing with her, you notice you rarely see a Phantasticus, single Phantasticus in a 2x2 by 4 foot tall cage. Well, when you do that, large cage husbandry is different than small cage husbandry, especially when it comes to UVB. So I'm really having to come up with a whole new way to present husbandry, because I'm dealing with both LEDs and large cage husbandry. And UVB and supplementation have to go together.
Yeah. So if the UV bulbs, being the linear bulbs, if they are being phased out, then what are you going to do about the UVB being able to provide UVB if you don't have that available through the linear bulbs?
UVB LEDs.
There are some of those.
Yeah, they are now commercially available.
Okay, good.
We still have a long time where we're going to have the linear T5s, UVBs. So it's not like we're done with those, but commercially, we're essentially done with those. You go to Home Depot, and right now, I can get tubes that fit into fluorescent fixtures, but they are LEDs inside of those tubes, so they're backwards compatible. It's being phased out. And so with someone like me who puts together care guides, I'm essentially forced to jump to LED husbandry.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, then that care guide has a shelf life. And I don't know how long of a shelf life it is.
Sure. And anybody who's entering, who's looking for some advice, isn't going to have access to those. And so if you're going to be providing consultation, you're going to have to be able to provide consultation on what is actually available, not what was available.
Yeah.
We're always in discussions about that.
ExoTerra just came out with a
where to
new
go.
line of T5s. So they are going to be available. It's just, I don't know for how long.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, maybe 10 years. Maybe we don't have to change over. But in this enclosure you have right here, I have the new, let's see if I can change. You can see I'm experimenting with the new ExoTerra. I don't know, can you see?
I can see it.
Over on these,
Those are very
the ones
bright.
you see across the middle, those are Arcadia Jungle Dawn LED bars. The one you see on this, let me see, on the edge here.
Oh, right, right.
From front to back, that is an ExoTerra UVB LED bar. And I have the basking, you see the branches up there. Those are specifically placed so I have a UV index of 2 hitting them.
Okay.
So the wonderful thing about Phantasticus that's different than chameleons, I don't have to worry about Phantasticus crawling right under the UVB, because the UVB is off by time they're up there.
Yeah.
And so all I have to worry about is to make sure they don't get too much UVB when they're out basking. Which that's an added difficulty, because in the wild, yeah, they are exposed to UVB, but it's dappled UVB and the sun moves. And so they're getting different exposures of UVB, even though they're just sitting there. So it's not like a chameleon that will move into that space. So that's a very meaty question you just asked me about UVB supplementation.
Never
yeah,
easy.
and what the consequence, another question which would be difficult to answer is what would be the consequences of too much exposure. I mean, certainly you could get burns, but are you gonna, and if it's a male, are you gonna get sterility, or at least temporary sterility, which is possible? At least in humans it is. I don't know what the answer is, but there's lots of questions to ask when it comes to that.
There's a lot of anecdotal evidence, problems with the eyes or the tail curling because of too much UVB, but there is nothing that I know of that has been put down on a paper and said, yeah, okay, this is a direct result of too much UVB. So,
and I don't think you'll ever get that with Phantasticus. There's not enough out there to experiment with.
Yeah.
And I just don't see it
This
happening.
is
It might happen with someone if they could do experiments with a different animal that was readily available and you had lots of samples, but the sample size wouldn't be large enough with Phants, and it would be cost prohibitive.
Yeah. So the big question for someone like me is, what is the right balance between UVB and supplementation? And Yvette, what's your current supplementation regimen?
It is, I am using Earth Pro A.
Okay.
And that's it. And I use it
Oh.
about a couple times a week. Nothing else.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was using that towards the end, but early on it was the Sticky Tongue Farms.
Yeah.
I was using that for quite a few years, and then also supplementing with calcium. Just a calcium.
We have that too. So I'm in the going back to doing a little more experimentation, so.
Yeah.
We used to be using the Repashy Calcium Plus Low D.
Okay.
And so that had 8,000 international units of vitamin D3. And Earth Pro A has no vitamin D3. And so we're experimenting with getting D3 from different sources.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, for everybody, just to review, you can get D3 from two sources, either from UVB that gets on the skin and it synthesizes D3 through a process, or through diet. That's the supplementation you get. And the problem is with the UVB through the skin, the body, the plant, turns off production when they have enough of vitamin D3.
Mm-hmm.
Vitamin D3 is fat soluble, and so you can overdose and get calcification on organs if you get too much vitamin D3. Problem is, when vitamin D3 comes in through the diet, it's not regulated. The plant just absorbs it, and there's no stop when there's too much. And so we are left to figure out what is the right, do we want to do just UVB for vitamin D3? That's what Yvette is working with now. Do you want to have a combination of UVB and some supplementation vitamin D3? That's what I'm going to be experimenting a little bit with, but it's really difficult to say. You can say this is what works for me. Very difficult to say this is the answer.
Yeah. What I did was the combination of the supplementation and the lighting.
Yeah.
And I did not experiment with one or the other. It worked well, the combination, but I can't say whether or not that was the right thing or not.
It would be really difficult because we can't control how much UVB exposure they get when we give them light. And we don't know how much of that powder stays on the crickets or whatever we feed. So this is so much of a shot in the dark when we start talking about this.
Yep. Hey, Bill and Lawrence, I'm being called. So
okay.
If I try to come back, if you guys are still on, I'll go check back.
Well, thank you for coming by and making me an
Yes,
honest.
thank you for
I'll
dropping
see you,
in.
everybody. Thank you.
Good luck.
Bye. Thanks.
I will see you.
Thanks.
Yeah, something that is probably worthy of repeating is one of your guests quite a few years ago was talking about where the animals were getting some of their nutrition, or not necessarily nutrition, but their minerals. And he said something about the soil and the dust that gets blown up in the air and lands on the leaves. And then when the moisture comes on and lands on the leaves, and the animals, in this particular case, the geckos, licked up the water from the leaves, they in turn are getting minerals from the soil in that sense. And that's, who knows how much factor that kind of thing is, but I thought that was really something fascinating. And I don't remember who it was that brought that up, but it was a really good point.
Who was that? I don't know if that was John Courtney Smith or...
I think it was.
The thing that I've thought a lot about that. Oh, no, that was Petr Nečas who brought that up.
Okay.
The thing is, in Madagascar, during the rainy season, I didn't see any dust, and those leaves are washed clean. So, that's something I still think about, but it's not totally satisfying of an answer yet.
Okay.
And I can see that happening perhaps in Kenya. Anyway, lots of things to think about.
Yes. Well, certainly a cricket or an animal crawling across the surface of the soil is going to pick up just, micro elements of it. But that's another thing to consider. But it's not anything that I think you could account for.
We're still trying to figure out. Excuse me. Sorry. They're still trying to figure out where they're getting their preformed vitamin A.
Mm-hmm.
So nutrition's always a fun thing.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, we are coming to the end of this show. If you have any last questions for Lawrence, put them down in the comments. Any last questions or comments, observations, hopes, fears, wishes for the future? Whatever you got, put it in. Thank you very much, Janet. See, I got a community that takes care of me here.
Oh, yes.
So let's see. Tutorial Tom is saying VivTech is no longer in business due to tariffs and life changes. It's following their UVB LED efforts a bit. Exoterra is making a bunch of UVB LED products, and so those are the ones that I am working with because I trust that Exoterra is going to be around for a while and producing stuff. And I tell you, the amount of work it goes into characterizing this equipment is so much work. I am not going to. I like dealing with companies I know are going to be around for a while.
Yeah.
Let's see. James says, I just want to thank you for sharing, Lawrence. I'm looking forward to that coffee table book.
Yeah. Well, don't hold your breath, but it would be a lot of fun to make it. I like the idea. Yeah, definitely.
You say, Geraldine says, thank you for sharing, Lawrence.
Well, if we're winding it down, it just occurred to me that since this is a live broadcast, if by chance there are Central California coast people, I start my foothill yellow-legged frog egg mass counts next weekend, and I still have some openings.
Well, explain that. We got to be on one of those trips and it was a lot of fun, but please explain.
Oh, what it is all right, so the foothill yellow-legged frog is a species that in this particular area is considered threatened and state threatened, federally endangered. And so what we do every year is we're count the egg masses. And since the female foothill yellow-legged frog will only lay one egg mass per year, you can estimate the number, or you can get a good sample of the number of reproductive females within the population. And so if you do egg mass counts every year, you can estimate in the population of the reproductive females, and you compare year after year, and you can monitor the health of that particular species. And where we're doing it, we've been doing it for quite a few years, and things are really looking good in this one particular area, which is different than a lot of areas. So it's a lot of fun. It's interesting. We train anybody who comes along. It's all volunteer, but I saw somebody who said something there on the Central Coast.
Yeah, James is in the Creston area by San Luis Obispo.
Oh, San Luis. This is Santa Cruz, so it's quite a few hours.
Yes. Well, everybody, I have been working. The next episode of the Branch Demon podcast coming out next Friday is all about lighting. So yes, I have been thinking a lot about UVB, LED, supplementation, and how in the world do I explain what I'm doing, especially when I'm in the middle of trying to figure this out. Lawrence, my particular challenge, even though we've been keeping them for however long, is that you get really good at small cage husbandry.
Yes.
And you have a feeling for what works, but when you explode it up to this level, those things don't exactly fit anymore. And so that's one of the fun things that I am doing with my personal growth here is figuring out and what large cage husbandry looks like for a phantasticus.
All right. Well, good luck with it. I wish you the best of luck on that. And if I ever keep them again, I'm going to brain pick you for advice
And by that
You were into
time,
that.
I'll have all the answers.
Yeah.
I better. So,
Okay.
all right, everybody. I want to say thank
Well-
you very much for joining. Oh, yes.
Oh, if can you put my email on there if someone wants to contact me about something?
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Let me pull that up. Lawrence. Oh, great. Now I got to figure out how I contacted you before.
I think it was text. Probably both.
We'll find it. We'll find it, everybody.
Or I can state it if that's easier.
If I do not, oh, there we are. I got it. All right, everybody. I am going to be putting Lawrence's email address in the chat. And so if you want to get a hold of him to do this, to go and look at toads, and you'll get to see lizards and snakes,
Frogs.
and everything. I'm sorry. What was it? It was a frog that you were looking.
That email that just came up, that's one I haven't used in years.
Forget that one.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna need another one.
I'll put it in the chat. Let's fucking join the chat, and I can type something in here.
All right.
Let's see. Connect. Join the chat. And verify it's you. Oh, come on.
And yes, Mikey Ben, I would be very happy to put it in the show notes.
Oh, did that work? Continue.
You know what? If you text it to me, I will copy and paste it and put it in here.
Okay.
All right, guys.
It says it's having trouble. All right, I'll text it to you right now.
We are going to take advantage of technology, and we're going to go the roundabout way.
Okay.
Janet says frog. Okay, yeah, I called it a toad. Frog. It's a non-chameleon, all right? You guys know my weaknesses.
Okay, I just texted it to you. My computer is misbehaving and isn't allowing me to join the chat.
There we go. All right. L. Erickson.
Okay, that's it.
60@gmail.com. And so contact him if you would be interested in going to look for frogs.
Yes.
So, all right,
anyway,
everybody.
yeah.
Go. Have a great weekend. And next time I'm live, I'm going to be here Tuesday on the Chameleon Academy for the open Q&A session. So go have a great weekend.
Okay.
See you next time.
See you. Thanks everybody for joining us. It was a lot of fun.